Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Shannon Shue. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams, and I have been in the business for 6 years. I just graduated into Gary Keller, who's the Keller of Keller Williams, is top agent mastermind. Which means I'm in the top 1% of KW agents across the nation. I think I don't actually know after that point if it means anything. I'm excited that I'm in his top mastermind. I own 10 units. You'll see one of the finished units is the ADU that I added onto a property here in order to illustrate the BRRRR method, particularly BRRRR in Los Angeles. And I love Vietnamese spring rolls. I'm a sucker for those. And my vision for the world is connection and vulnerability. I really believe that it's more than just being nice to one another. I really think it's about connecting and being vulnerable with one another. So here we go. Next.
So we're going to be reviewing the book here, and what the RRR, actually we should add one more R there. So yeah. Buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. So Shannon, go ahead on the next slide.
Here we go.
Oh, now we need to talk about where everybody is from and do a little get to know you for a moment.
Yeah. So yeah, we like to, just because we keep these small, we like to keep it under 12 people, just so it's a little bit more intimate and it gives everyone an opportunity to, ask questions, be a little bit more engaging. We would like to know a little bit about you. And so the questions are here. We'd like to know your name, where you work, and what you'd like to learn today. If any of you are BRRRR aficionados, whether it's the podcast, their online portal, or any other parts of real estate investing, this is a good time to ask, because I'm a big on investing, and BRRRR is a good backbone for that. So if you have anything you want to learn today, let us know. Samantha, do you want to go round robin around the room?
Sure thing. Robert, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, this is my first time being a part of this, so I'm excited to be here with you, all of you. I do receive Shannon's emails and all of that, and I says, I have to jump in there. And I think my wife and actually my daughter met you about a couple of years ago. My daughter was looking for possibly a property in the west side, but right now it's all on hold. But that's how I got connected. So the first time I'm actually being here. My background is, I'm actually my background is in education, but I've been you might say somebody that's played in the real estate business for years, part-time, so to speak. My dad was a developer, and we used to, this is going back a few years, we would buy vacant property, and then we would develop it, small stuff. We'd never go over 4 units because we wanted to stay with the conventional financing. And that's basically it. I've been a broker, like I said, but I really consider myself more of a retired broker now. I haven't done much of it, but I really want to get myself kind of just more familiar with it. And where do I work? Fullerton College is where I've worked. I've taught real estate there, property management. I've taught a couple of other classes there, and actually retired, but I continue to still work there. And so what brings me back is just, I like the energy. I like the energy that I get from everyone. So that's what I'm here for, just to learn from each other and just sort of, go with it. And my vision, I think one vision, I guess, is just, I would say peace, get along with each other and accept each other for who we are, and just take one day at a time, I think. So that's
Thank you so much for joining us, Robert. That sounds so interesting. We want to hear more about it.
Yeah, and by the way, my background, don't think that that's my house, okay? Because I can't afford it. That's
beautiful.
It's actually a library. And somebody said that one time, and I said, that's my guest house. And they looked at me. I was on a Zoom. And they said, who is this guy? And I said, no, I have to tell you the truth. I said, I just, yeah. I said, that's my guest house. You should see my real house. I said, Shannon will list it for you. Okay.
Thanks, Robert.
You're welcome. Anyway, thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, I'm so glad you came.
Thank you.
Ben, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, you're muted, Ben. Oh, you're on mute, Ben.
You are on mute, Ben.
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. My name is Ben Mon. I'm actually Sam's trainer and friend of a long time.
That's why I'm so strong, right?
She invited me to come today, so I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I actually didn't know it was a book club. I'm a big follower of Bigger Pockets. I think I've listened to over 200 episodes. I've read a majority of their books, and I have a real estate license that's inactive. And I've been a property manager for about 6 years. I manage multi-unit, Airbnb short-term, and then single-family residence for some family and friends. And then I'm also a notary signing agent for Chartwell Escrow. And I'm here today to learn about loan packages because I'm starting to look at investing. So I put my financing together, and I just need to know, I need to figure out where I'm going to, what market I can afford, and to start to look at some deals and analyze them and learn about what loan options I have.
Great.
Good. Thank you, Ben. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right, Evan.
Hey, I'm Evan. Good to see you guys. I don't know if I was at a book club before, but I've definitely been to this meeting, and I saw the topic, and it's a book that I've read. I also am a Bigger Pockets fan. I'm an agent, active agent with JMG Realty. Used to work with Shannon and still love her. So I want to come back and see her as much as possible. Yeah, no, I love Bigger Pockets. We just bought our first investment property, which we're living in, but we're going to turn it into an investment over the next couple of years by building out an ADU and then leaving it and then going to the next one. But so a little different than a BRRRR, but we're probably going to be looking for our first out-of-state BRRRR later this year. So curious to hear what you guys have to say about the book after reading it and the strategy, and always up to learning more. So that's why I'm here, and my little pup is listening too.
She may learn something, that she can utilize.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Neil.
look thrilled, so.
Oh, so cute.
Oh, no. We can be more entertaining. All right. Thanks, Evan.
Go ahead, Neil. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Neil Swain. I'm retired, and I'm still looking for properties. Basically, I was hoping to learn today. What are the tiers of the loans? When do you need a commercial lender as opposed to a residential lender? How many units can you finance up to with a residential lender?
I'll just quickly answer you real quick, Neil. Residential is up to 4 units. Anything more than 4 is commercial. And then we could talk more about loan stuff too toward the end.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure. Samantha, do you want to introduce yourself? She may not be available right now. Alexis, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi there. I'll jump on video for a minute, I guess.
Yay.
I am Alexis Kalin. I am a realtor with Keller Williams out of San Francisco, serve most of the Bay Area. And I am here because I'm interested in real estate investing. I have 2 single-family homes so far, and I'm hoping to get more. And yeah, just want to learn more strategies around it and how to build my portfolio faster. And yeah.
Awesome. So happy to have you here.
Thanks.
And then Monica.
Hi there. I'm Monica Martinez. I'm with Keller Williams in the Temecula Valley, just northeast of San Diego. And I've done investing in the past. I actually just saw Shannon's post in one of the groups and decided to hop on here, although I don't think I'll be able to be on here too long today because I have another meeting that I wasn't planning on being on this meeting, but I'll definitely jump into the next one as well.
Fantastic, Monica. It's great to see you here.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Yeah. And Samantha, do you want to go before we go on to the next slide and go into the BRRRR book?
I don't know if
Samantha,
she's
me
on.
or other Samantha?
Oh, you.
My name is Samantha. I work at Keller Williams, Silicon Beach, and I am here today just to learn everything. I just want to learn.
Soak it up.
Yes, we're soaking it up. Okay, Samantha, great. Glad you joined. So we're gonna go straight. We're gonna launch right into the book. So the book is actually, to summarize the book in today's presentation. Of course, like we're gonna go step by step, but each of these steps, I mean, the level in which David Greene, who happens to also be a Keller Williams agent, but also a very successful BRRRR person, each of the steps are very lengthy and meaty. So I've just given you the cliff notes, and then I'm applying. One of the big things I think is BRRRR is difficult to do in large markets like Los Angeles, like San Francisco. I heard that being another place that you guys hail from. And the reason is it's very difficult to find property that are so under market and then being able to add that value. So I'm going to use one of my examples of a home and then show you how you can do BRRRR. It's a little bit, it does require having more capital up front. So you got to be kind of a little bit more capital heavy. But again, it is doable. So you're going to see each slide is going to say the rule based on the book, and then challenges when you apply it to Los Angeles, and then fixes, so that like, how can you do a workaround, right? And then Samantha's going to go through my refinance numbers on the property that I am BRRRRing. I am in the middle of BRRRRing it. So here are the steps according to the book. So it's strictly by the book. Step one is to buy. You need to find a property 10% under market value or more, right? Step two is you rehab that property. You fix both the material issues. If the roof's not doing so great, the plumbing is leaky, termites here are really big. You need to do all of those things plus remodel the home itself. They do recommend, if you need to add square footage, to do that also. But again, remodeling is at a minimum to remodel what's there. The third step is then to rent that property. So screening applicants to rent it at top dollar. So you want to get maximum value for it. And then 4 is to refinance that property and then cash out as much of that value because you've added so much value in it. And then you can use that for your next property. Then of course, step 5 is to repeat. And there's one thing that I've learned kind of working with investors in Los Angeles, and that is a lot of people sort of like to dabble in investing. And so they'll try it once and then they don't redo it. And the thing is, you need to get really good at investing by repeating it over and over again. So, it's more capital intensive in Los Angeles. I recognize that, but just know that a one-time deal isn't going to be at the same velocity. For example, David Greene does 2 of these a month. Like, that velocity is amazing, right? So keep that in mind. When you buy a property. So here's the rule again. Like I said, the rule is to find and buy a property 10% under market value. And then how
find that in LA?
Yeah, I know. Where's that? I mean, I would have bought 10 of them already.
Right.
So how? You got to talk, in the book, he says, talk to the top real estate agents in that market or in that area, talk to wholesalers, and go direct to owners. He's not saying you should do all of them, but you should make a decision on how you want to find that deal. Why he says top realtors is because those agents see the most number of opportunities, whether it's to list a property, to potentially buy something that many top agents, and I see this too. I'm seeing more deals because I get to talk to the owners directly because they replied to my marketing, right? And so I do get an opportunity to see what's potentially going on market. And sometimes clients will say, if I don't get this much, I don't want to list it. And so, but I know that seller wants to sell. I know the price at which they'll sell it at. Wholesalers, so they of course want to go in, and most of the wholesalers I know in Los Angeles, they don't stay wholesalers for long. They will wholesale for, and this is what I've experienced, 2 to 3 years just to get a little bit of capital, because wholesaling, you don't require any capital to start and you don't require a license. So you can actually potentially find a home for less and then try to resell it for more to somebody else like me as an investor. But then once they get enough capital, they want to do it themselves. They know there's more money in flipping it, or there's more money in actually controlling the deal. That's what we say in real estate, control the deal. Or go direct to the owner. So then you go direct to, maybe it's your neighbor, and you just ask your neighbor, hey, I know you've been here for a while, you've been thinking about selling, I'm interested in buying your home. That's a direct to owner kind of conversation, or you can just market for them. And then how else? Of course, once you buy the property, you need to show that you are serious about buying. I do meet investors that want to talk to like 10 different agents, and they're like, if you bring me a deal, I'll close with you. I don't really work with investors like that. The reason is because I can buy a lot of the deals I find. So I need to know you're serious, that we are going to work together, and that you are financially able to close that deal. I have met people that also say, if I can't make it, do you want to partner with me? I'm like, no, I'm going to help you as a real estate agent. So I'm just giving you some of the ins and outs that I learn and I speak to people about that are kind of go a little beyond what the book gives. So here are the challenges with this. First of all, properties 10% under value is nearly impossible to find in Los Angeles. And I joke with clients, I said, if you want something 10% under value, you will wait a long time for that property. And likely someone will snatch it up before you, like an all cash investor who can close in 10 days. So keep that in mind. And we just have so little inventory on and off market that it's like I said, nearly impossible to find that deal. So how do you revise the rules to actually apply to Los Angeles and actually find something? Find property that does need work. That is probably given, and work with a top agent who invests. So I always say work with agents that invest. They know when they see a deal, right? But expect to pay sometimes up to 10% more. And with a good agent that invests, and I do this with my clients, I go through the numbers with you and I say, okay, so the rehab is going to cost this much. You're going to pay 10% more for this. I need to make sure there's enough equity in that deal for you to BRRRR it, right? Because if I BRRRR, I know how to help somebody else BRRRR. So that's what I look at, right? And I think that appreciation is so key to this. Like, I don't want you to find something that you can't exit and unlock your capital. So that's pretty much your down payment and rehab costs. All right. Okay, the rehab. So this is the second R of the BRRRR strategy. The rule is to find a contractor or skilled handyman who can do the work with a written estimate. He does make it very clear. David's like, better be in writing. And then he offers a bonus for an on-time completion. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. His bonus he offers is he likes to do about 5% of the total value of the rehab. So if it's a $50,000 rehab, he would offer you a $5,000 bonus, excuse me, a $2,500 bonus on completing on time. And that's a lot of money to a contractor or skilled handyman. He also says, know the difference between whether you could get a contractor to do the work or if you can get a skilled handyman. So we're going to go into a little bit of the how, but one thing I like to mention is with the contractor, if you're going to add square footage and you need to do a lot of permitting, you probably want to use a contractor. If you're just going to fix the roof, and if anybody in LA, you can actually replace your roof without a permit. It's if you redo the sheeting, the actual plywood underneath, then you need a permit. So if you're going to redo the roof, you don't need a permit. So you can get a good handyman to do that knows how to do it. Don't do something that you're going to trial and error with. Redoing plumbing, you can get, most skilled handymans can fix that. Redoing a kitchen, laying tile, all these things you can get a skilled handyman to do. But how you will find these people. So in the book, he says you should ask your realtor, because you want to work with people that have a deep list of referrals and have a deep list of people that they've used themselves, or they know how to get access to more people. So one of my clients just asked me, I need an electronic gate person. I've never installed an electronic gate in my whole life, so I don't have an electronic gate person. I have fence builders, but I don't have electronic gates. So I had to go ask my network, and I got somebody back, and I have someone for them. I had that for them in 2 days. Collect 5 bids. Oh, and speak to other investors. I think I just mentioned that. But collect up to 5 bids, especially for your first BRRRR. And the reason you're doing that is you want to get used to kind of talking to different people. Go with the best communicator. So the contractor or handyman that's really good at communicating what they're able to do, but not over promising, and experienced at doing things at slightly lower costs, which means that they are not always working for single family homeowners. Single family homeowners, you know, they make a lot of, they need a lot of changes. They had a decision to go this way, and then they want to go this way. They will like this backsplash tile. They don't like it anymore. They want you to rip it out. Slightly lower cost, meaning that you make the decision, you execute, you just keep moving on, right? So it's not a hobbyist. And someone's a hobbyist, wants to pick the tile, and it has to be perfect. Challenges in LA. So good help is really difficult to find right now. Because of COVID, everyone has been home a lot. They are looking at every little nook and cranny of their home that is ugly, has bothered them this whole time, or they've just wanted to renovate it, or they need more space. So they just need to, like, let's add that extra bedroom and bathroom. Because of that, it is very challenging, even for me today, to find good help that's good at it. And so that is the biggest challenge I'm experiencing right now.
Shannon, why wouldn't you just do it yourself?
I'm not very good at drywalling.
But I think a lot of people might consider, right? Well, I could just redo the tile. I could do that. And you've told me in the past you've tried to do some things yourself, and it's hard. It makes it you don't see the return as fast, obviously, right? You do it wrong, then you end up hiring somebody anyway, or
yeah.
Right?
I bootstrapped my first property, and I did it myself. And I was not a real estate agent at the time. So I bought a house. I knew it needed a lot of work. I did as much of the work I could myself, and I hired a handyman who I had known since I was a kid because he was my mom's handyman. And so I hired him to help me with the really heavy stuff. So he redid the roof. I was like, no, I wanna try doing the roof. And it's a Spanish style, and it's a flat roof. I was like, this should be easy, just roll it out. And it was like, you have to tar it and roll it and tar it and roll it. And I was like, this is a lot of hard work. Just getting this roll up the ladder, I couldn't lift it. To be frank with you, I'm like, okay, you can lift it. I'll get on the roof with you. I just got in his way. Like, really, I really just got in his way. But he's a very nice person, has known me a very long time. So he was very patient. So I wouldn't recommend that, but I learned a lot that first time. I thought drywalling was the hardest thing in the whole wide world. I don't know how you both line it up and then cut it just right. So yeah, not to go down that hole, but I will tell you all, I'm at a point now where I don't do much of any rehabbing myself. But I think it was good lessons to learn at the beginning. Other revisions, you should anticipate being a little bit of a project manager. In order to find good help, you might need to piece together your team. Contractors have everybody on staff. They have the electrical guy, the plumber, they have the roofer, they have every team member you need to redo a home. However, if we are short on staff throughout the whole city, you might need you're going to bring a roofer in because he's going to give you a little bit better pricing. You know, a plumber, and then the rest you're going to have one guy do, right? So keep that in mind. That's a little bit of a workaround. The other workaround is once you're at the finishing stage, the roof, the tile, and the paint are key indicators of their ability and whether you'd want to work with them again. To me, laying tile is an art. Yes, I can learn that on YouTube, but to be very frank with you, the spacing and the lines and making sure things just look really clean and crisp is actually very hard. I don't think YouTube makes it out to be as easy as it really is. Rent. So now you're going to rent the place you've just flipped. You want to talk to property managers. You want to talk to investors and realtors about rental tips. You're not necessarily going to have to talk to them about the process of renting, since that should be pretty clear, but you really want to find out, how do I get maximum dollar? And don't be afraid to pay for it. I think a good property manager should get you an excellent list of applicants. I'll give you an example. I just turned over a lot of my property to a property manager on January. I made the decision I didn't want to take every busted toilet call myself, but I was up until January. And here's what I hired some former clients of mine that work for really large companies that manage over 300 units in LA. So I said, you know, hey, I want to give you this one unit. It just went vacant. I want to see how you do. I don't know what they did, but I said, I'll stage it and you do the rest. Right? I'll give them the photos too. I'll stage it and give you the photos. You do the rest. They somehow got onto Facebook featured, which means that we didn't pay. They didn't pay for the ads. They got featured as like something that people would want to rent in LA. They had over 800 phone calls on one $2,200 3-bedroom apartment near USC. And of the 800 inquiries, they whittled it down, and then they ended up showing it, I think, 80 to 90 times, which is a lot for you know, during COVID. It's like November, right? So it's also a tough time in the market to rent. We had somebody in there within, I didn't even lose a month. I lost 1 month rent, which is just the month to show. Someone was in there immediately. So a good property manager is going to be able to really know how to put this all together. They have a slew of people they use from their day job, they use for their night job. So all of the people that they have from their workers that they've introduced me to 2 new handymen that I really like. And they handle the rest though, because I need those handymen for my jobs. And then they also handle the property. What the challenges we have in LA, we have a rent stabilization ordinance, which doesn't mean much once you flip the property. You just want to get maximum rents on it. But we do also have a California eviction freeze because of COVID. So there's a memorandum that nobody can evict due to COVID. And right now, a lot of tenants can claim that they have COVID related hardships. It doesn't mean they had COVID themselves. That then they can show they can stay. They don't have to be evicted if they can't pay. Revisions to the rule, there really isn't a revision, I think, that's necessary. I think that David does a really good job in applying those sort of principles in Los Angeles. For the most part, are pretty straightforward. Again, my one rule about renting, you need to collect rent from somebody who can show income about 2.5 times the rent. So if you make $2,000 a month, I want you to be the rent is $2,000 a month. I want you to be making $5,000 a month. And then I feel like, oh, it's pretty safe that this person can afford the rent, or this family can afford the rent. All right, that's enough about me. Samantha.
Well, thanks, Shannon. Okay, so now we're on the next R, which is refinance. And for those of you that may be green or just don't really know what is a refinance, it's basically just replacing your old loan with a new one. So you would pay off the old loan that you have, get a new one, and you can then add more money onto that loan so you could take cash out of the equity of the house. You could also take cash out of the equity of the house by taking an equity line of credit. A lot of people that you know, or different ads that you're seeing, are have really low interest rates. That's when you do a refinance that's just called rate and term. When you pay off the old loan with a new loan that's almost exactly the same loan size, and you just lower your rate. Because maybe at the time somebody got 3 3/4 and now you can get 2 3/4. Great, I'm just going to refinance my old loan and keep the same amount and just get a better rate and a better payment. But for this book, what David is saying is we should refinance, pull the cash out of the equity that you've built in the house by all of those repairs that you had all those amazing handymen do, and then use that money to go buy a new house. When you take cash out of a house, it is not taxed. So don't worry, the house isn't going to be reassessed because you've refinanced it, and you're not going to have to pay taxes on any of the money you pull out. Then you would then use that money for whatever you want. Hopefully it's another house, and then you can continue this whole strategy. So for Shannon's example, and she's going to go in further detail about her actual example, but she bought a single family house in January 2020 for $642,000. And she'll discuss more about the details of the house. But originally you put 5% down. So her loan size was about $610,000. And her total payment with taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance, and everything was about $3,800 a month. Okay. Then what she did is she used that property and put an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit on the property, or a granny unit, or basically Los Angeles is promoting adding more housing. And so they're allowing you to add this accessory dwelling unit to the property. So when you do that, it increases the value because now you can have a tenant and they have their own four walls and it's all great. So now she put $100,000 into this ADU. So her existing loan was $593 as of July because she's paid down some of the principal over the last year and a half, added the $100,000 ADU. So now she owes technically $693,000. So she has their $593 and she wants to give herself back $100,000. So Shannon, you put this little amount in there. What is that? Other costs?
Yeah. When I bought the house originally, I flipped the house. So I flipped the front house, which existed already. And that was $85,000 to renovate the front house. I added a bathroom. So it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath Craftsman from 1924. And then I remodeled the kitchen. I remodeled the existing bathroom, painted and refinished the floors. I did a very simple, and I upgraded the electric panel because I knew I wanted to have the back and the front on separate meters, because if I rent it, the fewer shared utilities, the fewer challenges I have in trying to get the tenants to pay their own utilities. I don't really want to manage their utilities.
That makes
All right.
sense. Okay, so there's two different options of doing a refinance for Shannon. So one is pulling the equity out up to 80% of the new value, which we're valuing at about $930,000 now. So she could take out a new loan for $744,000 and give herself a good amount of money back. And that way now her new payment is roughly $4,500 a month. Or we could do what's called an equity line of credit behind a new loan. So we could do a cash out refinance, take her up to 75% of the new value, and then add a HELOC too. So that way she's left with this extra HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit that she only pays on when she uses. Now you can see that the interest rate is high, 7.25% is high, but it's interest only. And until she finds the next house, it may be another 6, 8, 10 months until she finds another place that she wants to invest this money in. She's at least liquid and able to use that money when she wants, but doesn't have to pay on it until she uses it.
Awesome.
Okay.
And wait, is it in here, Sam? I don't just question. Did you calculate how much I would get on the 80/20? Well, how much I would cash out, and then?
So you owed what was it? Can you go back a bit?
Yeah. My current loan is $593.
Okay, so 930, 80%, 593. So you'd get about 150,000 out.
Okay, and then if I did 10%, I'd be about 100,000 out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 75% loan to value.
So 930.75, and you owe 593. So about 100. Mm-hmm.
And then my
plus the
additional
10%, right?
Yes.
Plus another 93.
Plus another 93,000, which I use as revolving credit.
So it's like 200,000.
Yeah. So I get $200,000 back, and I just want. What I'm pointing out is that I spent $100,000 on the ADU and $85,000 on renovating the front house. If I do the 75% loan to value, cash out refi, then add an additional 10%, I pretty much paid myself back for the entire renovation and a little bit more. So I even got some money back for my down payment, which I put 5% down. So now I'm nearly cost neutral. There's some closing costs and about 4% of the down payment that I didn't get back. And I did use a conservative number for the after repair value of 930. So some wholesalers show me deals all the time. I'm like, really? The after repair value is that high? It doesn't sound right at all to me. this is conservative because if for any reason, like I go and the appraiser's not feeling very friendly that day, then I might just only get 930. So yeah, and then one other thing I'll mention in terms of the buy, you know, the 10% under market value, according to David Greene, which is very difficult to find in Los Angeles. This was not one of those. I bought this property at 642. It appraised at 652. So I got 10,000 in equity when I closed. That's not 10%, but it's 10K.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad. I've only owned it for a year and a half. So, I mean, well, actually, that was upon purchase in January. But if you owned it for a year and a half, it's worth already more. So,
and you've also been able to reap the benefit of the last year and a half where people all want to be in single family. So it's just pushing up the values so much, right? So that was an ADU added. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I just want to stop here for a minute because there are actually two ways that Samantha worked my numbers. Do you guys have any questions about this? Because this I actually think is a lot of moving parts.
I have a question, Shannon, and that is that you mentioned there was a house in the front and a house in the back. Was there a house you said was in the back? Did I hear that correctly? Did you have a rental in the back also?
No, when I purchased it, I'll tell you the configuration. There was the 2-bedroom, 1-bath home in the front. That was a 1924 Craftsman. So this is pretty old, but all the character was intact. And then the back was a rebuilt garage because the original 1-car garage from 1924 had fallen down. 1996, the owner at the time rebuilt the garage as a 2-car garage with a studio and a bathroom. No kitchen.
Okay.
So it wasn't really a house. It was really a 2-car garage with a bathroom and a little teeny, very small, equivalent to 1-car garage studio.
Okay.
But all built together. So therefore, I didn't talk about this in the deal summary here, but I made that 2-car garage one like studio space all in one. I made it into an ADU that's 2-bedroom, 1-bath because I would get more rent. Yeah. So it's 720 square feet, 2-bedroom, 1-bath in the back with laundry. And it has everything that I need to make sure I get maximum rents on it. Laundry is important for tenants. It has a dishwasher, another thing that's important for tenants, because I will get a premium for both washer and dryer and a dishwasher. The rest of the items are pretty standard items that tenants see when they go out looking for properties in their price range. I think that, I think that most of the Any other questions about the 2 different strategies Samantha presented?
I had some questions.
Yeah.
On it. Okay, when he's saying 10% below market value, is that based on comps or is that based on expected cash flow for a rental property?
It's usually based on comps.
Okay. Yeah. And you just mentioned a clothes or laundry facility. Did you install like a pay per wash and dry system, or did you just make room in the place to put a washer and dryer in?
For this one, I added the washer and dryer into the unit because I can get a premium for tenants like washer and dryers and dishwashers in the unit. And because a lot of the housing stock in Los Angeles is older, there's not a lot of laundry facility inside, and dishwashers, unless the owner has updated the kitchen over the years, there's not usually a dishwasher either. They also are 3 appliances that take more water. So a lot of buildings being older, they're on 1 meter in Los Angeles. So 1 meter means that the landlord is paying the water. They don't, at least in my experience with some of my clients and myself included, I don't really want to pay for you to do 4 laundry loads a week and for you to do 4 dishwashing loads a week, because that's going to increase my water bill.
Okay.
But I'll include it because I'll get more rent, and I'll get more rent than I think that the average water bill increase will be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then one more question I had was, how much does your property manager charge?
She charges 6% of the collected rents, which is pretty standard for Los Angeles, and I think she does a bang up job. So she does work for her 6%.
Yeah, especially if they're taking that many calls.
On the application
Yeah.
part, she didn't
Yeah.
even know she got featured. She didn't know. She's like, I don't know what happened. I got 400 messages just in 2 days. I'm like, what happened? She's like, I don't know. She figured it out later.
Okay.
She figured it out later.
Okay. That was all I really had, and I'll probably give you a call at some point and figure out how to interview some of these property managers, because I tried to rent my Redondo Beach place out, and they didn't even show it, or they weren't even showing it. They were showing it like once every 2 weeks,
Oh,
and I wasn't really happy with that. So I mean, I wasn't really sure. I never approached another property manager after that.
oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I'd be happy to help, Neil. No problem.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to mention that one more thing, and then I'll show you some photos of the flip, because we like to leave at least 5 to 8 minutes at the end for additional questions when you kind of see the whole presentation. And I just stopped here because I wanted to make sure everyone got this financing, the 2 different options for financing. And I plan to actually do the home equity line of credit route rather than just do a full out cash out refi, because I don't mind leaving some money inside of the deal or money inside the property that I can deploy when I need it, and then leave it in and not get any interest charges on it. My rent on the back unit, once it's completely finished, is going to be about $2,700. So if these seem high, Sam, but maybe almost 4,500 would leave me about an $1,800 payment to live in LA in a house, a single family house. Is pretty low, but I actually had thought my interest rate would be maybe a little bit lower. But again, we're just kind of going off of, again, $1,800 to live in LA is pretty affordable.
Yeah, in a house. Yeah.
In a house,
Yeah.
it's all brand new. Yeah.
Yeah. The second part of that slide, I don't know, I got messed up. So I just revised it if you want to reshare it, or it can be fixed in when we send these out.
Yeah, because I think the property taxes are a little high.
Yeah, I may have overestimated that because I wasn't sure what they were going to assess you at. But if you, on the equity line option, I just adjusted a little bit on the slide if you want to go out and then reshare. But it's about $4,300 a month if we're including the taxes like we mentioned. But the nice thing about that equity line is that if you were to take out all 93,000 on that, Shannon, the payment on is about $550 a month. But if you didn't need all 93 right away, right, you pay $0. And what's nice about that equity line is you're only paying on what you use. Otherwise, there's like $175 maintenance fee per year, no big deal.
Yeah. And one other thing I would mention is I actually plan to Airbnb rent the back house. So instead of a full tenant at $2,700 a month, Airbnb will probably give me about a 25% bump on that. So I should be making closer to $3,400 to $3,500 a month, depending on how much vacancy I have. And it will be a brand new home. So at that point, I'm now only paying about $900 or less, $1,000 or less to live in Los Angeles, not including my internet bill and a little bit of water and electricity I'm going to use. So yeah, I think that this shows you how can I aggressively save money in these ways. And then of course I work as a real estate agent because this is actually how I make my money. I can't actually live off of this in the long run until I have like 10 of these. So I need 10 of these to make this work.
So let's see the pictures. I'm really interested.
Okie dokie. Let me, okay, here we go, you guys. So it's I just moved it over from my phone to here. So pardon me for it not looking the most, not having the most gallery. And not being in order either. Okay, so here, I want to show you something what it looked like. So this is the 2-car garage, as you can see, and then the little studio off to the side. This is all torn up because we had to relay, even though this was a 1996 build, actually it is 24 inches deep on the foundation. whatever reason, the city is like, this garage section needs to be relaid. We literally took out a totally good foundation in this section from here to here, and then relayed the same thing with the same amount of concrete. It kind of killed me because I thought it was a waste of money. And if you would like a close-up picture of the foundation, that is what it looks like. While I was at it, I decided to just relay a little bit more concrete in the back because we were already bringing in the concrete here. That's not included in the cost. It shouldn't be, at least. It was a relatively decent driveway before. Here is the front house. This is the house I already renovated. It is the Little Craftsman. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It's 900 square feet inside. And then that back house is 720 square feet. And nope, that's from Gay Pride a few years ago. Okay, so this is the kitchen, and just kind of looking at some of the inner parts of the house. We had to put shear wall, which is not the same as just drywall. You put shear wall behind it, you put drywall in front. It's because the civil engineer, I think, overbuilt on it. I couldn't get him to revise it fast enough. We just went with the shear wall. Plywood is very expensive right now. Each of these shear wall pieces currently run $90 a piece, a sheet, when they used to be $40. And they used to be $40 in April of 2021. I bought this at the end of May 2021. So I paid the higher fee. Keep that in mind if you're building anything now. Everything is costing a lot more. This is near the laundry facility. Here you can see the laundry, and this is all blue because I had my pest control folks go in and termite treat it so that I could save a little bit more money in the future. I hate having to tent a property and then move the tenants for 2 nights. It's better if I just treat them. It's cheaper to treat the wood at the front end, and then I don't have to move tenants in the future. That's a personal choice though. So hopefully that was easy to see. And yeah, now we're just on to the last step, and that's repeating the process. Really, you want to get good at this and repeat it over and over again. I will myself do it again. And it's slowly but surely. Now, I don't think I can get to David Greene's 2 a month.